total to your being. Turn on, it's a pleasure device. Game with me, it's the ultimate spice. I promise you will never be dull.
Hey everyone, this is Kat, and today I was actually, I had it written down to do some live streaming today, but in lieu of, it's 8:16 in the morning, and I've just really, I'm not really feeling the live streaming vibe at the moment, but there is something else that I decided I would go ahead and do. I was planning on this video later in the week, maybe tomorrow or Wednesday, but I decided to go ahead and put it up there just because it is a topic that is really close to me, and this topic will be about physical abuse. This is going to get a little personal in regards of actually talking about some of the things that I went through with my first husband. And so I will go ahead and say this has the potential to trigger PTSD and stuff like that, or whatever. So there is a trigger warning on this video, and my apologies if this affects anyone in any negative sort of way. Alright, I have discussed the emotional abuse I endured at the hands of my ex-husband. Now it's time to discuss the physical. I have been in quite a few physically abusive relationships, actually. Maybe only 2? I don't know. Who keeps count of that, right? Well, the first boyfriend I ever dated, he was a control freak, and after 2 years, got physical. My parents made me break up with him. Go figure, I was 6. I dated him when I was 14. And we dated for 2 years. But in all honesty, I would much rather go through that one again than what I went through with my first husband. Keep in mind that this story may not have everything. There was too much, and I did put a mental block. But there are some things that stick dominant out in my mind that I do remember. I remember him telling me stories about his ex-wife. I never met her, never knew her, but he would tell me how she lied to him all the time. And even lied when she started telling people he hit her with a phone and pushed her down the stairs. At the time, I didn't believe it. Do I believe it now? Yes. Did he ever hit me with the phone or push me down the stairs? No. In that regards, I do consider myself lucky. I realized if I stayed with them, it probably could have been me leaving in a body bag, and so, abuse only gets worse regardless of the abuse you're going through. And I guess part of the reason why I want to come out and, discuss some of the abuse that I've been through is I'm hoping that maybe my story can help someone else, or at least give them the same type of strength that it took me to muster. Believe me, I've been in your shoes. I know how hard it is if you're one of those ones who's just working up the courage to leave. One of the first incidents I remember, the first time I drove his mom's car, I did not see the stop sign. I didn't even know the area really well because I had just moved out there with him. We lived with his parents, so I didn't see the stop sign. There was a big bush that was in front of the stop sign. So I couldn't see, and then there was this gigantic bush over here to the left, so I couldn't see oncoming cars. And I ran the stop sign. My ex-husband, he grabbed my head and bashed it into the window of the car. He moved fast. I didn't even know where it came from. I remember touching the side of my head to make sure there was no blood. There wasn't, but I did feel the car shake. He then yelled at me for running a stop sign and would not listen to the fact I did not see it, nor did I see the car coming. We weren't in an accident that day, or ever while I was with him. I remember when I dropped something, he lunged at me and smacked me. He resorted to punching, kicking, pushing. His favorite, though, was pushing me. It didn't matter where we were. We were taking a shower once, and he pushed me because the shower curtain was loose, and I accidentally knocked it down when I was trying to adjust the shower head. If you were to ask him today, he swears to this day, or well, at least the last time I talked to him, which was well over few years ago, actually. He swears that I slipped and he was only trying to catch me. Okay, if you're going to catch someone, you don't push them away from you. You grab them closer to you. And nowhere did his arms grab me and try to pull me towards him. I felt his palms on my chest as he pushed me away from him. Even that day, he refused to accept blame and kept telling me I tried to catch you, as if he was trying to brainwash me. I knew the truth. There was absolutely no way in hell he could have been trying to catch me the way his hands were. Another one I remember. He went to kick the cat, Mary, his mom's cat. Oh, I loved Mary. Mary loved me, but of course I would protect an animal, even if it was at the cost of my own life. I have been this way as far back as I can remember. I scooped up Mary because I didn't want him to hurt her, and I cuddled with her. I did not realize this would infuriate him. And I was laying on the ground, but more so he wanted to hurt her, and I just stood in the way. He ended up kicking me right there. I remember because I had a scab that he also opened up there. He grabbed my head and smashed it into the ground and told me never to do that again. He got up and left. I don't know what prompted me, but so far at this point the abuse had been going on for a month. But I picked myself up off the ground. I walked into where he was fixing the stove and I punched him as hard as I could in the back and right in between his shoulder blades. I turned around and walked off. I was feeling a sense of nostalgia, like I was happy and glowing inside. I think nostalgia is the right term. What I didn't see was what he was about to do. He grabbed me by the hair and smashed my head against the wall and pushed it in. It was a sharp corner, and that's when my scab actually started to, I guess abrasion or whatever, it started to bleed. It was the sharp corner that he pushed me into in the wall. He leaned in real close and said that if I ever do that again, I will be lucky to be alive. He also never failed to make me forget his mom was locked outside in her bra and underwear by his dad, and that he wasn't afraid to do that to me. I remember when he pushed me into a stereo system. I also remember having a miscarriage and him refusing to take me to the doctor for 3 days, which I had spiked a high fever, like 105.6, I believe is what the thermometer showed. I was in immense amount of pain. I had never felt that much pain. And to be honest with you, all that pain was physical. I have no... This might sound insensitive, and I do feel bad for everyone who's went through a miscarriage and has had emotional pain towards it. I didn't, but I mean, I didn't want a child by a father that cruel, and I'm 100% against abortion, so to me, my option was keeping the baby and leaving and trying, you know, I was trying, but it was hard, it really was. He kept me afraid of him. The abuse lasted for 3 months, but I stayed in his house for 4 months. The last month he was in jail, which is why the abuse ended. During this time period, he kept me from my family, kept me from my friends, did everything he could to alienate me. I begged him to take me to my parents to give my sister her gifts for Christmas. He finally reluctantly agreed. I still remember a phone call with my mom that day. Are you sure you don't want to wait till after Christmas? I knew what this meant. I have a felony because of him. He threatened my life and told me that if I didn't steal my parents' checks, that he would kill me and my sister. I'm 11 years older than my sister. So at this time, you know, my sister's just a little thing. You know, she like 3, 4 or something. I don't remember. But she was just really little. And as an older sister, I had to protect it. But I knew my mom begging me not to come I knew something was going to happen. I had a warrant for my arrest in Hampton because I had stolen my mom's checks. Keep in mind, it was not of my own free will, but he made me do this by threatening my life and my sister's. I did what I had to protect my sister. I was about 19 at the time, and with her being 11 years younger than me, that would have made her... God, I don't remember. I'm really terrible at math. Y'all do the math and figure it out. But if you're an older sibling, you know you do what you have to protect your baby siblings. I was arrested. At the police department, they kept grilling me, asking me why would I do this, asking me if he had anything to do with this. I told them no. I should have said yes. But my fear of him and what would he do if he found out I told them kept me from telling them everything. Before you ask, no, I did not realize I was safe. I didn't feel safe anywhere. I was terrified and afraid that he would kill me or beat me if I told them what he was doing to me. Had I said something, I would not have the felony on my record. I'd have walked away. They wanted him. That's all they wanted. That's all the detective wanted. They wanted him. They didn't want me. Apparently, he'd also done this before to his ex-wife. The only thing is, his ex-wife gave him up. There's so much more to the story, but like I said, I blocked out so much of it and can only pull what I deem as the worst part of the relationship out of my head. The things that stay with me to this day, what has caused me the most pain, that whole marriage was a pain for me. If I could turn back the hands of time, I would have never met him. I would erase that day from my life where I went on to Quest Personals, which is a phone chat line. That's how we met. I would have ran the second I found out he lied about who he was. On there, he told me that he was an attorney, and later on I found out that he worked at an Exxon, was diabetic, was on disability, so he couldn't, just everything he lied to me about. I would have ran if I could, if I was smart. I mean, I guess in a way, you don't really catch the cues, and you get blinded by them. But in the end, this fight has only made me stronger. Today, I'm strong enough to share my story. I will have another story. I do have another video where I explain how I managed to leave him. I'm checking something. I will explain the emotional abuse in my next video when I discuss this. I guess my big thing is get help. If you are, or you know of someone who is in that situation, then please get help that you need. Talk to someone. And if you want to talk to a complete stranger, shoot me a message. Let me know, and there's ways to contact me down in my description. I will help you any way I can, even if it is just listening to you, because sometimes that's all you need. You need to know you are not alone. No one is ever alone in that situation. And I am willing to answer any questions, but by all means, please be respectful in this, and do not make comments like, why would someone stay in a situation like that? Why didn't you leave sooner? Because it's not that easy, and if you've ever been in that situation, you would know that. So, I hope you all enjoyed this video. As sad as the story may be, and as painful as it can be, please, if you like this video, please feel free to hit like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. And I hope if you are in this situation that you get help. I will. The number for the US people will be in the description below, the domestic violence hotline. If you're not in the US and you need that phone number or for either yourself or a friend, let me know and I will be happy to look up that number. I also have friends from all around, so it's not like I couldn't shoot one of them a message saying, hey, what's the domestic violence number in Scotland or Australia or wherever you are. So thank you for watching this video.
Is it immature?